And they, Lenin, Rahel, and Esther, who were not used to being photographed, they were looking like scared animals. But at the same time, Sophie Maud, who was from the first world, she was very used to taking pictures, and she was the one who was prepared, well prepared for this picture. Prepared എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ post ചെയ്യുമായിരിക്കുമെന്ന് നമുക്ക് വിചാരിക്കാം, but that is not what she did. She had turned her eyelids inside out. That is something that we all used to do as children. I couldn't. I was always scared of that. ഈ കണ്ണിങ്ങനെ മറച്ചു പിടിക്കുക ആ സംഭവം. Okay, so she's done that, and she's done that to her eyes. And what she has is that she was wearing എന്താ സ്വീറ്റ് ലൈമിന്റെ, അതായത് നാരങ്ങയുടെ തൊലി ഇങ്ങനെ വായിക്കാത്തൂടെ വെച്ചേക്കുമായിരുന്നു. ഓക്കെ, ആൻഡ് ഹെർ ടങ് വാസ് പുഷ്ഡ് ഔട്ട്. ഓക്കെ, സോ ഷീ വാസ് പുഷ്ഡ് ഇൻസൈഡ് എ തിമ്പിൾ, ഒരു ചെറിയ പാത്രം പോലത്തെ ഒരു സാധനം. ഇതെല്ലാം കൊണ്ട് വളരെ ഡെക്കറേറ്റ് ആയിട്ടായിരുന്നു സോഫി മോൾ റെഡി ആയിട്ടായിരുന്നു നിന്നത്. ഓൾറൈറ്റ്, ആൻഡ് that is something, that shows us the childishness of Sophie Maud. All right, and just moments before that, she says, okay, moments before the picture was taken, she had finished explaining to Esther and Rahel how there was a pretty good chance that they were bastards. Okay, and then Sophie Maud from the first world explained to Rahel and Esther what the word bastards mean. All right, and it involved something called sex. And she had very inaccurately described what sex is. All right, and this was only 2 days before Sophie Maud died. Okay, and she arrived on the Bombay Cochin flight, hatted, bell-bottomed, and loved from the beginning. That is how Sophie Maud is described. Moving on to the next chapter, which is Cochin Kangaroos. Chapter 6 is titled Cochin Kangaroos. At the Cochin airport, Rahel's new dress, she's all dressed up, and she was waiting for Sophie Maud. Look at how that is described. The rehearsals had been rehearsed. Okay, rehearsals had all been done, how to behave when Sophie Maud comes. It was the day of the play. All this week they were acting and rehearsing what will Sophie Maud think. And today was the day, the final day of the play. In the morning, Ammu was preparing Rahel. Remember the previous night, Rahel was forced to sleep with Chaco because Esther had a fever after his episode with orange drink, lemon drink man. Don't forget the periodical chronology of what happened. And Rahel had said something to Ammu that upsetted her, and because of that, Ammu had said that I love you a little less. So Rahel was pretty disturbed at that point, right? And they were getting ready, and she gave Ammu a kiss on both dimples. All right, and she hoped that Ammu would forgive her. Thank you, she says to Ammu, and Ammu asks, why are you saying thank you? All right, so when she says, for my new frock and knickers, and Ammu smiled, you're welcome, my sweetheart. And when those words, it filled Rahel's heart. And remember that moth, Papaji's moth, that had landed on her heart when Ammu said that she loves her a little less. It lifted a leg. Okay, then it put it back. A little less, her mother loved her. It kept coming into her mind. And they were all ready, and they were all in their car. They were going to meet Sophie Maud. All right, and usually Chaco, who always, he's a pseudo communist, he keeps saying that he's a comrade, and he always wear mund, but today he was wearing a tight suit. Okay, and Ammu was saying, oh, what has happened to our man of the masses? All right, and everyone was happy. That is a very, very happy day. Everyone was smiling and everyone was laughing. They were joking with each other. And then Chaco had brought 2 roses to give to his wife and his daughter. After that, what happens is that Sophie Maud's plane lands, and the arrival lounge is described of how it is a press of love and eagerness. And from all over Kerala, people come after long bus journeys from Rani, from Kumali, from Vizhinjam, from Uravur. All of them had crammed the airport waiting for their loved ones to return. They were all there, the deaf ammumas, the cantercoors, the arthritic appupans, the pining wives, scheming uncles. That is a very, very Indian picture, right? When someone is returning from somewhere, the whole family is going to receive them from the airport, right? Mostly sweeper class. Okay, baby Kochama, who always thought of her as high and mighty, said that ivarellam sweeper class aanu. Okay, and that is why she got a good place near the railings. And After that, Sophie Mall comes, all right, and airport baggage is coming. Kerala tourism is described with a Kathakali face, all right, and the children are again reading something backward, and this is where the again Cochin kangaroos, okay, another signed unwobbled by a kangaroo. What is a kangaroo? The garbage bins in the airport are shaped like a kangaroo, and for the child's imagination that was a very very grave thing, all right. uh, and that is what this chapter is titled after, all right. And because they are at the airport, Rahel and Asta consider themselves as ambassadors, and they are calling themselves as Ambassador Rahel and Ambassador Esther, okay. And Ambassador Esther, is still disturbed by what had happened with the orange drink, lemon drink man, and he had a bottomless, bottom full feeling. Okay, that's how it's described. He had a very, very weird feeling. He was constantly afraid that the orange drink, lemon drink man knew where to find him. Okay, in the factory on in IMNM on the banks of Meenachil, he knew where their factory was. He knew where their home was. All right, and everyone was waiting for Sophie Mall, and there they were, the foreign returnees who had come. Okay, um, then yes, then there among was Sophie Mall, who walked down the runway, the smell of London in her hair, yellow bottoms of bell bottom, yellow bands, another, and long hair floated from under her straw hat, one hand in her mother's, the other swinging like a soldier, left, right, left. There was a girl, tall and thin, fair her hair was delicate color of ginger. There was a girl, all right. And so Margaret, Rahel started to sing this song, and Margaret Pachama told her to stop it. All right. Can you see her, Rahel? She asked, and then she could see Sophie Mall walking into the arrivals lounge at the airport. So when they finally arrive, Chaco is greeting them, and he says, "Hello, how was your journey?" And that is where the narrator describes, the air was full of thoughts. There were so many things that he wanted to say to his wife and his daughter that he's seeing for the first time after she was a baby. But in circumstances like these big things are never said. It is always the small, small things that are described, and the big things remain inside, unsaid. And Chaco is, introducing his family, and he says, "This is Sophie Moore, my daughter, and this is Margaret, my wife." And immediately Margaret Rochama thinks that ex-wife, but she does not say it aloud. All right. And see how Sophie Moore is described. Okay, she was taller than Esther and bigger because she's older than them. Her eyes were gray blue. Her pale skin was the color of beach sand, but her hatted hair was beautiful deep brown. And yes, she had Papachi's nose. Okay, so some resemblance is there. She carried her made in England go-go bag that she loved. And Chaco continues to introduce everyone, all right? And Adur Bhasi is making an appearance. He had come from somewhere, and everyone was very, very excited to see Adur Bhasi there. And Ammu, look, Adur Bhasi is dropping his things. He can't even carry his things, okay? And Baby Kochama says that, he's just doing it for attention. Ignore him. He's a film actor, she explained to Margaret Kochama. And he's just trying to attract the attention of the people. And then when the children are introduced, Esther as Margaret Chama asks, "How do you do?" And Esther says, "Fine, thank you." But Ammu says, "You should ask, how do you do?" back to her, but he refuses to do that, and Ammu gets angry. But Chaku says that, "Onnum paranda." He says in Malayalam that, don't create a scene. And at the same time, Rahel, who is a very, very, excited child, what she was doing was her airport in a curtain, okay, she was hiding it, only her shoes could be seen. And, Margaret Kochama talks to the curtain, "How do you do?" And the curtain replied, "How do you do?" Instead of saying hello or how fine, she says, "How do you do?" back. All right. And Ammu was very, very angry by the behavior because she had rehearsed this part and she wanted her children to seem perfect, but they were not behaving in a correct manner. So once they go to collect the luggage and she has the children to herself, she starts scolding them and says that, "If you ever behave like this in public again, if you ever humiliate me, I will send you away." And the children were very, very clear. It was very clear to them that their mother was angry. All right. And Baby Kochama is also adding and saying that they are sly, they are uncouth, they are deceitful, they are growing wild. You cannot manage them by yourself. She's blaming Ammu. Okay. And other kekumba Ammu nu poodlu desham, but Baby Kochama is attacking her because she is divorced. Everybody says that children need a baba, and I say no, not my children, she says. Okay, she says that everybody keeps telling that children need a baba, but I say that no, I can raise my children on my own. Do you know why? Okay, because you are our Ammu, and our Baba. The children reply, you are our mother and our father, and you love us double. And Ammu says, more than double. So remember what I told you. People's feelings are precious, and when you disobey in public, everybody gets the wrong impression. So she's again trying to tell the children that, if you people get the wrong impression, people will love you a little less. They will not like you much, is what she's trying to say. And she's also trying to tell Rahel, you should learn the difference between clean and dirty. This curtain is so dirty and you're wrapping yourself in it. Your dress was clean and the curtain was dirty. Now the kangaroos are dirty, your hands are dirty. So this is again where the kangaroos are mentioned once more, okay, because they are the ones who are carrying all the waste. They are dirty. And as they are going from the airport to the taxi, Sophie Moll and the two children are lagging behind the others. And Sophie Moll talks to them and she says, does your mother hit you? And they say no. And Sophie Moll says, my mother hits me. Okay, she even slaps me. And they say lucky. And then Rahel asks Sophie Moll, who do you love the most in the world? And she says, my dad, Joe. Okay, but Chaco's your dad, Rahel says. And Sophie says, no, he's just my real dad, but Joe is my dad. He never hits me, hardly ever. Okay, how can he hit if he is dead? Esther asks. Where's your dad? Sophie Moll wanted to know. He's not here. Okay, they don't even know uh, where their father is. Shall I tell you my list? Rahel asked Sophie Moll, if you like. Rahel's list was an attempt to order chaos. Okay, she revised it. Who does she love the most? Okay, so she says first she loves Ammu and Chaco, then Mamachi, her grandmother, and that is when Sophie Moll asks, more than your brother? We don't count. And anyways, he might change, Ammu says. Okay, so in her list of who she loves the most, she's not considering Estha as a separate person. For her, Estha is herself, right? So adonda list Estha is not there. And she says that we don't count now. And anyways, when we grow older, he might change, is what Ammu says. And on her list after that comes Velita and you, she says. Okay, so who's Velita? Sophie Moll asks, and she says that he's a man that we love. And then Sophie Moll asks, what do you love me for? You don't even know me, right? So Rahel says, we are first cousins, so I have to love you. Um, and Sophie Moll says, but you don't know me and I don't love you, but you will when you come to know me, Rahel says. I doubt it, Esther says. Why not? Because she's probably going to be a dwarf. Okay, so this very, very childish banter that is going on between the children is very interesting to read. You are twins, okay, you are different from us, but we are twins, so we will always love each other. Okay, but still see, we are twins, but see how shorter Rahel is. So she is going to be a dwarf. That's why you will not love her. It's a very, very childish thing to say, right? And maybe you are shorter than a human being, is what Sophie Moll also agrees with Esther and says. So then finally they get into the car and they drive, and Sophie Moll sits in the front seat with Chaco and Margaret Kochama because she was their daughter, and Esther and Rahel at the back. That itself shows, it begins a division of love begins there, where they starts feeling that Sophie Moll loved from the beginning, is how they describe her, right? So she is loved more than them, is a feeling that crawls into them, and they begin their journey back to Aymanum.